Hey there, it's Kat and this is Brews and Reviews. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my TBR for the Hemisphere Christmas Games. So you may know I am a co-host for the Hemisphere Christmas Games this year, and I'm very excited to be taking part as a host. I'll leave a link to the video where I give all the information about the readathon. It's only 6 minutes long. If you're vaguely interested, check it out. Join us in this Christmassy competition between the Northern and the Southern Hemispheres. So today I want to give you guys my TBR for this readathon, and we're kind of going to do this in a loose fashion. So I'm going to talk about a few books that I may read for this so that I can still keep my options open and mood read, but also it will cover it if I do somehow manage to complete the entire bingo board and magically make it through. I don't know, it may happen, it probably won't happen, but I'm going to keep my options open for a mood read at least. So I'm just going to talk about the reading prompts in this. So we'll start with the first reading prompt, which is to read a book where the main action of the book takes place on or near a body of water. So for some reason I weirdly found this one really difficult. I've read a lot of books that are set around a body of water, but finding something that was still on my TBR was hard for me for some reason. I don't know. So the first book that I could potentially read for this prompt is The House of Salt and Sorrows by Emily A. Craig. This is a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling. Did I make that up? I don't know. I've been told that it is really good and it is a vibe that I will really gel with. Also, look at all this sea on the cover. Definitely set by the sea. I am really looking forward to reading this one. I've been putting it off for ages. Don't know why I haven't read it. I just need to pick it up. The next book that I may read is The Troop by Nick Cutter. This is a horror camping thing that's set on an island. I think it's like scouts go on an island and then there's bugs, like weird horror bugs. I don't know, it sounds interesting. Sometimes I like to read about like big creatures in horror attacking people. I think that's just the kind of horror that I really love. So if you've got any recommendations for anything like that, then that would be great. But The Troop is set on an island, which to me says that it's by a body of water, because it's an island. The next book that I could potentially read for this, and I'm probably leaning towards right now, is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I have been looking at this one for ages, and then I forgot about it for a while until I went into a shop the other day and saw this weird ugly cover for it, where it was like this weird shade of green, yellow. It was ugly. It reminded me that I really wanted to read this book, and I'm like, I can pick this up on audiobook and I don't have to look at that gross cover. It is essentially like a enemies to lovers romance kind of thing, where the best man and the maid of honor end up going on the bride and groom's honeymoon because everyone else gets food poisoning and it's not refundable. And they go to the beach. There's a beach. It's by the sea. On the honeymoon. So I'm counting it for this prompt and I'm probably going to read this one. So the next reading prompt is to read the group book, and I kind of don't really have a preference for these. I've already read The Christmas Tree Thief by Philippa Nefri Clark, so I'm probably not going to read that one again. I'm leaning towards What I Like About Me by Jenna Geum, and that's because it's a different sort of Christmas than the one I will be experiencing because it is set in Australia, and I feel like that's kind of the spirit of the readathon. So I want to read that one, and then I think if I go around the board again, then the one that I will pick up is The Six Tales of Christmas by Anne-Marie Ryan, and that will be a more sort of my style Christmas. So the next reading prompt is to read something with something dark on the cover, and I had a lot of choices for this one. I feel like this is the one that I will repeat the most if that happens during the month. So a lot of these books are definitely on my list to finish before 2021, so that did affect my choices for this. So the first book I'm putting on this list is Caraval by Stephanie Garber, because it's very dark. I mean, I know it has a lot of light on it too, but also it's very dark. The next book on this list is Destined to Fly by Indigo Bloom. And now if you've been on this channel for a long time and you're over 18, then you might realise that I've done Complaints with Cat videos on the first 2 books in this series. Now someone recently asked me if I would finally read the 3rd book and do a Complaints with Cat on it, and I was like, I don't know, because because I had such problems with the first 2 books and they were awful. I'm kind of intrigued, and I just feel like it would be great to round out the series, and I know that this book goes to a completely bonkers place, so I'm gonna do it. I'd like to. Let me know if you want to see a Complaints with Cat video for this crazy series. And if you don't know, the first book in this series, it's like a sexy time romance book where the main guy blinds the woman without her consent, and he's like, now you have to do everything that I say, and she's like, oh, so romantic. So it's got problems. So if you're interested in, checking this out, then make me read this one. The next book I want to read is Blood Standard by Laird Barron. I hear this is a thriller that turns into more of a horror. I don't really know what it's about, but I have been told that I will really like this. So We will see. Also, you know, it's just very dark. Like, this man is a silhouette and there are shadows and stuff. That counts for the darkness, right? And the last book that I'll probably read for this prompt is The Call by Peter Gillian. I'm sorry, I forgot to look up how to pronounce this man's name before I filmed this video, so I just horribly butchered a very nice Irish name. I apologise. I think this one is kind of like people get taken away to another world and most of them come back dead, and if they come back alive then they're very changed, and I'm just kind of intrigued by it. Looks kind of creepy. It's on one of my lists to finish before the end of the year, so I really want to get to it. The next reading prompt is to read a comforting read, so this is great for December because I really am in the mood for a comforting read. I am still kind of in a reading slump, so I feel like these ones will be my gateway into the bingo board. I feel like it will be a good way to start. So the first one on this list is going to be The Falling in Love Montage by Kiara Smith. It's kind of a queer contemporary romance, and I feel like the reason that is comforting for me is because it's kind of an easy read. And I feel like there's a theme with the comforting reads that I'm going to pick. I don't know much else about it, but it is, again, on a list of something that I need to read before the end of 2021. Also, we have Proven Guilty by Jim Butcher. This is the next book in the Dresden Files, and I just always find these really comforting. They're so easy to get into. I can just speed right through these books and always have a good time with them. I don't think I've rated any of them less than 3 stars, and quite a few of them sit on like 5 stars or 4 stars, and I just really enjoy them, so I feel like that is a really good comfort read for me. Also another comfort read, Waylander by David Gemmell, because I haven't read it yet and I keep saying I'm going to reread it and I really need to, and also this is one of the best in the Dread-Eye series. It's such a good book, and Waylander is such a badass. He's an assassin, and he kind of ends up with like a found family, even though he doesn't want them to be his family. He just sort of ends up lumbered with some people that he becomes attached to, and it's like, yes, Waylander, yes. So I really want to reread this one. It's very comforting to me to read something from my favourite author. And the last book that I'm probably going to be reading as a comforting read is The Name Game by CJ Swift. This is a book that was sent to me by the author and comes out, I believe, on the 15th of December, and it's fake dating, well, like sort of fake engagement marriage sort of thing, and it's sexy times, and just it feels really good, and it feels like exactly what I'm in the mood to read, so that is super comforting to me right now, and I'm very in the mood to read this. So the next prompt on this list is to read something with something light on the cover. So the first book I want to read for this prompt is Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert, because I've been saying I'm going to read this one for ages, and I'm really, really in the mood to read it. I really enjoyed Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and I feel like I really want to know what happens in this one. I've heard a lot of people say this is their favourite in the series, so I am very intrigued. Also, I really want to read the third one because I know it's got autistic representation in it, and I'm really here for that. So this is likely to be the one that I read because I'm definitely in the mood for it. So this book has light on the cover. Whether I read it or not is debatable because I keep saying I'm gonna and I don't. So Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. It's book 4 in the Throne of Glass series, and I haven't read it yet and I really need to, but it is a bit chunky, and it's a bit chunky. But I do have it on audiobook as well, so I feel like I could get through it quickly. I just kind of need the motivation to do it, and maybe not, maybe not. Who knows? The next book that I could potentially read for this prompt is Kiss the Girls by James Patterson. These are lights. Also the writing is white and very light, so that's why I'm counting it for this prompt. I have been meaning to read this book for a while now, and I'm also going to be reading it for a different challenge, so it could count for this prompt. I could make it count. I could also make it count for the dark prompt because the background is really dark, but we'll see. We'll see. Another book that I might read for this prompt is Song of Echoes by R.E. Palmer. This is a book that was sent to me by the author and just looks really interesting. Also, look at that cover. It's so pretty. So pretty. I definitely want to be in a more fantasy related mood before I pick this one up because I feel like then I will really enjoy it, but if I end up in that mood then I'm definitely going to pick this one up. And the last reading prompt is to read something that is set in a snowy setting. I found it really hard to actually find books that were set in a snowy place that I hadn't read, so I kind of just picked Christmas books that I could find anywhere. So most of them were from Kindle Unlimited or Audible's free thing, because I like free stuff. Okay, I know it's not free because I pay a subscription fee, but like still. So basically these books are Christmas books that I know very little about. So the first one that I'm going to read is Dying for Christmas by Tammy Cohen. Murder Christmas. I'm not sure if it's set in the snow, but one of the covers has a woman running in snow, so we're gonna hope that that is the case. The next one I could possibly read is Christmas Every Day by Beth Morgan, which to me feels like Groundhog Day but on Christmas, which I kind of hope it is, and if it's not, why is the name giving that to me? And lastly, we have a cozy countryside romance, which pretty much does what it says on the tin, at least I hope so. It has a dog on the cover and a Christmas tree, and I'm just like, oh, it seems like an easy read, which is what I'm in the mood for. So yes, those are the books I'm planning to read for the Hemisphere Christmas Games. If you're taking part in the Hemisphere Christmas Games, then please leave me a comment that lets me know what you're planning to read. If you're not, then good luck with everything that you read in December. I hope you manage to get to all of the goals that have probably been stacking up throughout the year. Good luck, and if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!